as I always have. Start with the OHL. Real quick, we'll go through the 3 guys that are playing there, rip through their stats for this week and just how they're doing overall real quick. But it's going to be hard for me to pick one guy to phone in on.
You're the one that said you wanted to fucking do this.
No, I know. This is the one league where I'm like, fuck, I could pick all 3 of them. But Hunter Haight, Friday assist, Saturday goal, 2 more points to give him 7 goals, 16 assists, 23 points on the year. And like both points, or sorry, he had on Saturday, he had also an assist with 3 points this weekend. Sorry. And like scored the opener. Then he had the assist in the game winner, I think in overtime. But producing big moments, big time player for them. We love that. So he's up to 23 points in 19 games. Again, dynamic offense. We love that. Petrovsky went all the way off this week. 3 games. He had 1 goal and dude, you ready for this score? They beat Windsor last Thursday 12-3. So only had 1 goal in that one. But then they beat Sarnia 4-0.
Tell me that he had 1 goal and he was dashed 2.
I love those stats, dude. It was just like this. They won by like 14. He's like, he is dash 2 tonight. But they beat Sarnia 4-0 the next night. 2 apples there. Then after that on Saturday, 1 goal, 1 assist, and a 4-2 win. So we had 5 more points this week. He's actually clipping at a better point per game pace than he was last year. And I actually think he's been more hit or miss this season through 21 games. Like last year, he was just solid every game. Whether or not he was putting up points, he was just in all 3 zones, like a solid player pretty much every night. This year, it's been like up and down for the games that I've watched. So it's interesting to me that he's now putting up like he's over a point per game. Wasn't that last year? Like he was right around there, but now he is. So it's just interesting to me watching him while it looks like he's playing better while it's been a little bit more inconsistent, but that's also like Owen Sound too. That again, they'll win 12-3 and then they'll also lose like the next night it didn't happen, but sometimes they'll immediately follow up like an 8-2 loss. It's like, what the fuck's going on over there? But, either way, wanted to mention that for him because he's having a great week. Was good in all 3 games that I saw. And then I can't stop. I have to pick Kumpulainen, dude. Like I said this last week or the last time we did a roundup, we talked about him. He's unbelievable. Now, they did go up 5-0 in the first period and then lose 6-5 in overtime against Peterborough on Sunday. But he had his guy. He had 2 goals, assists, 3 points. He's +2, 3 shots on net, went 10 for 25, and was second star of the game. Owen Beck had like fucking 5 points, so he got first star, whatever. But that puts him at a point per game pace this year. And I'm telling you, man, like, I legitimately think he's got like a decently high ceiling, even if he is somewhat of a flawed player. Like there's not that many guys with this level of skill that are at that size that have the advanced defensive game already at 19 or 18, 19 years old, whatever he is now. And like the transition he's made from Finland to the OHL on a okay hockey team has been incredibly impressive. And it's just like, I really am interested to keep, like, I'm going to be very invested in following his progression and like development over the next few years as he's working his way up. Cause like the thing with him too, is we talked about like who they target. It felt like / they definitely did was big centers in this year's draft. And it's like, this is kind of the prototypical player they were looking for. Like this big motherfucker who's pretty mean. He's like his hands and the playmaking. He's got a good shot. Like he kind of just checks all the boxes. Like I could see him really accelerating this development. Cause like, I don't know, like he's shown it throughout the last few years. Like he was real good at whatever. Again, I can't remember if it was that stupid ass fucking World Junior in the summer or if it was the Holinka Gretzky. Whereas like he just kept making these plays where he's like, who is this big, like mega man looking motherfucker on the ice? And then he's just like dancing guys, and you're like, oh, okay, he just danced the best player, the best defenseman in this draft. That's interesting. But he just makes so many of these crazy plays, and I think he reads the game really well. He creates his own like passing lanes, and he just will feather the puck through. I don't know. I have to bring him up every week because he just does something where I'm like, he's unbelievable. So I am so intrigued by this fucking hockey player.
I gotta ask though, because you said how surprised you are the transition he's made coming from Finland to play for a pretty meh team. I'm kind of the mindset that that's better than coming into a good team where he's kind of buried down the lineup. Like, I feel like it's a great situation to be on, not a garbage team, but like a meh team. Then he can come in and kind of have runway to do what he needs to, a lot of room to slot wherever they need to in the lineup to fit his game, give him the proper opportunity to adapt. I don't know. I think it's ideal.
Yeah. No, I'm just surprised that he, because I remember the first probably 2 games, I was like, oh, this is going to take some time to adjust to coming over here from Finland. And then like, it was like 1 game where it was just up 3 primary apples and they were unbelievable. And like all of a sudden he's just hitting everything that moves. He's starting scrums. He's scoring goals. And it's like, oh, okay, here you go. And he just like 1 game went well. And all of a sudden he looks like he's been playing in the OHL. It looks like this is year 3.
So put a percentage on it for me. And this is obviously out of nowhere, but 2023 draft. What are the odds you'd place on him being the best player of the Minnesota Wild draft class? When it's all said and done, I'm not talking like in the next year or 2. I'm talking like 5 years from now.
Yeah, I can't put him ahead of Haight. Like, I still think Haight's going to end up.
So you think there's no world where he is better than Haight?
I think Haight, no matter what's, going to have a higher ceiling.
I
think you can look at. No, I know. So that's what I'm transitioning. I'm transitioning to that point. I could see Kumpulainen end up like being a factor in like a lineup on both sides more than Haight would. Like Haight's a super high ceiling guy, and I think the likelihood that he hits is very high.
Who's got a better floor?
Maybe Kumpulainen just because he adds a defensive value too, but Haight can.
No, I didn't. That wasn't a like pointed question to support my argument. I genuinely don't know.
Yeah, no, and the thing with Haight too is like he can be a center, he can be a wing. Like he's playing center right now, he always has, but he could be a sniper of a fucking winger too. Kumpulainen kind of needs to be a center. Like like having him out on the wing would probably be a problem. Like, which like the lack of speed. And so much of his value comes from him
firmly planted as a center.
It's hard to picture him not as a center.
Okay, good to know.